Three horror movies that did not scare me. Now, horror is subjective, and that is the beauty of it. So, in light of that being said, these picks of mine are, of course, my opinion, and only chosen because I believe that the majority of people will say that all three of these movies are scary. I disagree. Disclaimer: I have been watching horror movies of all kinds since I was a young boy, so maybe I might just have a huge tolerance when it comes to my ability to get scared. So keep that in mind. I will, of course, explain my reasonings and rationalities of my choices. So let's get to the list. I am not saying that the lack of terror in these movies make them bad movies. Quite the opposite. As one of these movies I'm gonna speak about is a modern horror masterpiece. All it means is that I don't think it is scary. The first movie I don't find scary at all is Saw by James Wan. Don't get me wrong, watching this as a kid, it is scary, especially because of the introduction of Billy the Puppet, voiced by Toby Bell. It's really chilling and iconic. But as an adult, having seen the best version of what this movie could be, that being Saw 2, I don't find anything past the puppet at all frightening. Without any comparisons, I still find this movie to be very surface level of what this franchise ended up being. I think it pulled a lot of punches, and that is because this was James Wan's first movie where he's trying to find his style, his voice, as a director. And all these are just contributing factors to why I just don't think it's scary. Obviously, he went on to do terrifying things in the rest of his career, but I don't think this is one of them. It really lacks that James Wan flair that the rest of his movies have. Let's look at Saw 2 and how that movie perfected the Saw formula. From its sickly, nasty stomach turning yellow, tinted rooms soaked in blood, to the tangible, decrepit, thick atmosphere all throughout its runtime. The kills are far more brutal, the characters are far more sinister, the plot is meaner, and the first kill is something out of nightmares. The Venus flytrap is probably the most iconic kill this franchise has ever and will ever produce, in my opinion. I mean, next to the angel one in the I think in the third movie. That scene is a great example on how to make gore porn scary, which is a very difficult task as most movies in that genre are just exploitative in nature and not really scary at all because most of its violence is meant for shock value. Moving on. This might be a hot take, but I don't think Hereditary is scary. I remember seeing this movie prior to me seeing it, being praised for how scary it was and how creepy and unsettling it made audiences feel. That was at least the majority of people's sentiment towards this film. And when I finally got to see the movie, it didn't really scare me. I was truly underwhelmed by how not scary it was. It felt more like a drama disguised as a horror, which Ari Aster went on to confirm that was his intentions.
Important to me that the film sort of serve as a great horror film first, to just serve as a really rich family drama.
So I believe the director really didn't go into this movie as a horror film first, but as a family drama first and a horror second. I just don't believe Ari Aster is a horror director, and I don't think this was really a horror movie. Ari's other movies went on and confirmed my sneaking suspicion that he really wasn't into making horror films, as Midsummer was a response and therapy to a breakup he must have been going through. Beau is Afraid is Ari going through a midlife crisis, and I haven't seen anything, so I can't speak on that. I think this movie has an unsettling and underpinning creepy atmosphere, one that reminds me of the Babadook on how empty and bleak this movie constantly feels. But I just feel sad and depressed watching this movie than I actually do being scared. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with these thoughts and feelings, but I just want to be honest and tell you I wasn't scared at all watching this movie, even though I think it's really good and deserves all the praise that it gets. It's a shame Toni Collette didn't get an Oscar because she showed there are levels to act. I know a lot of people glaze over the last 10-minute sequence where Toni takes her head off and we see a bunch of naked people, but that just wasn't my cup of tea, even though I find old naked people truly disgusting. Yet I still wasn't scared, but just more revolted. The last movie on this list is, well, okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit because it's not one film but a franchise, I suppose. It's every movie spun out of the Conjuring universe, excluding the first and second Conjuring. I also think these movies are just bad movies in general and are the epitome of what's wrong with Hollywood in regards to horror. And not just horror, but in Hollywood in general, as these are super generic, filled with jump scares, and are either sequels or prequels to an already successful IP. There's no love to any of these movies, and I hate that they make so much money and that they ruin what could have been such good ideas with the likes of The Nun and the last Conjuring movies being a pale comparison what they once were. Also, I don't want to diss the director again, but damn, they should stop giving these movies to Michael Chavez. Like, let's give someone else a try for once, I don't know anyone over the age of 15 that actually finds any of these movies either scary, good, or not a waste of time. Let this be a lesson in how to make a franchise money, but at the same time alienate anyone who loves horror movies. I'm just glad that I believe there aren't any more of these movies in the horizon. Let me compare two scenes from a good Conjuring movie to a bad one, and we can examine why one is actually scary to why one is actually a piece of dog shit. Let's look at one of my favorite scenes of all time, which is the hide and clap scene from the first Conjuring movie. The mom and her little daughter play a game called hide and clap, where the seeker, wearing a blindfold, tries to find the one hiding using the sound of the claps, which the one hiding only has three to give. It's actually a super fun game to play, which I play with my little siblings. It's good. I recommend it. So the mom is led into this room where the big dresser is. The door opens when the mom asks for the third and final clap. We see two hands appear and give her the final clap. The mom walks over expecting to find her child, but just as she's about to check in the dresser, she hears her daughter's running and takes her blindfold off. The little girl says she wasn't even in the room at all. To the mother's surprise, she looks in the dresser only to find that it's empty. I love this scene. It's perfect suspense, creativity, and execution. We are given just enough details to envision what was on the other side of that dresser, but not enough to spoil the fun. Most importantly, there are no jump scares here. A lesser director would have totally made this into a jump scare. Speaking of which, let's talk about a lesser director. The Conjuring 4 Last Rites is the final Conjuring movie directed by Marco Chavez. Let's look at this scene where a little girl plays with a doll only for it to take a life of its own and start floating. Then behind her is revealed to be a scary looking old lady that has been moving it. I think this scene is a great representation of the rest of the Conjuring movies being generic, cheap looking, and well, just not scary. Just look at the lady. She is not scary. She looks like a ripoff of the killer from the carnival season in American Horror Story. The reveal was a jump scare, and we have seen this setup 1,000 times. Anyways, yeah, this has been my list. Thank you all for watching. I love y'all. Goodbye.